U.S. officials now confirm to CBS News that U.S. supplies missiles have been used on Russian targets and on Russian territory. Let's bring in CBS News senior national security correspondent Charles D'Agata to put that information for us. Charles, what can you tell us?
Yeah, well, Vlad, we've been chasing.
Vladimir Putin has a new warning for the United States after President Biden authorized Ukraine to use long-range missiles supplied by the U.S. to strike inside Russia. Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pennell starts us off from Ukraine. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, George. Nuclear saber rattling from the Kremlin this morning, with Vladimir Putin appearing to threaten to use nuclear weapons if Ukraine fires American-made missiles into Russia. The Kremlin saying the doctrine was updated in response to what it calls the new situation. The new Russian policy essentially authorizes the use of nuclear weapons in response to what it calls, quotes, critical threats of aggression using conventional weapons.
We've never been so close to World War III before. And if it happens, it will be a war like no other. This because of the threat of certain types of weapons. We don't even want to mention the word, but because of the type of weapons that you're talking about today. When you look at the incredible destructive power of these weapons, this will be a war like no other. This will not be two army tanks running against each other and shooting. This is going to be something the likes of which we've never seen. And we have a man who's grossly incompetent heading up our nation, and he's competing against Putin and President Xi of China and Kim Jong-un of North Korea.
President Biden lifting restrictions on the ATACMS ballistic missiles, which are, of course, conventional weapons, essentially allowing them to be fired into Russia. Putin has made nuclear threats before that have proved to be hollow. A senior Ukrainian military source telling me this is blackmail, but also warning nuclear weapons are a Pandora's box that shouldn't be opened. This move likely aimed as much at President-elect Trump, who's promising to end the war when he takes office, but it'll make that all the harder. Meanwhile, Russia again escalating attacks inside Ukraine, striking an apartment block in the north, killing 9, including a child. And for all the talk of peace plans, Ukraine today marking 1,000 days of Russia's devastating war with no end in sight. And just one final bit of breaking news, we're hearing that the Russians are reporting that Ukraine has now used these ATACMS ballistic missiles. More on that later.
Yeah, it looks like an escalation is coming. Okay, Ian, thanks very much.
Breaking overnight, some alarming news from overseas. Russian President Vladimir Putin has formally lowered the threshold for his country's use of nuclear weapons. It comes just days after the U.S. allowed Ukraine to strike inside Russia using American longer-range missiles. Chief International Correspondent Keir Simmons joins us with the latest on this. Keir, good morning. Tell us what this means.
Well, Savannah, this will raise alarm bells, particularly because of the timing. Important to note that Russia has made many nuclear threats before during the war on Ukraine, but it's changed now its nuclear doctrine to enable Russia to launch a nuclear strike on a non-nuclear country that is supported by a nuclear country. That's clearly a message to Ukraine and the United States. And fast-moving events, Savannah, we're hearing now from Russia that it says that US long-range ATACMS missiles have been used in the Bryansk area of Russia. Russia says it shot down 5 of them, but that one has caused a fire at a military facility. So many different events happening. One other thing to tell you, though, Savannah, the Kremlin spokesman saying in a briefing just in the last hour or so that Russia still considers nuclear weapons a weapon of last resort.